This channel is supported by Truefire. Truefire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses.
I've built like a bunch of pedal boards. I've spent thousands on different drive pedals and, you know, all of the sorts of normal things that I think people buy, you know, trying out different drives and thinking, well, this will make my tone slightly different, or this will whatever, change whatever it does, and, you know, if you stack this and this, maybe you get a different result. But I've never really properly integrated things in a looper in a way that was satisfactory. And I did a video on my pedalboard not being totally happy with it, and I actually had two people suggest to me that I should maybe check out the Gigrig Atom. And my first reaction was, I'm not going to spend that kind of money on a thing that doesn't even really make noise. It just switches pedals. And I think maybe it was a bit of a silly kind of thought to have, actually, because realistically, this is a conclusion I've more or less come to, is that a combination of drive pedals, for me, I'm probably going to end up sounding pretty similar with them. You know, switching out a delay, I think it'll probably sound fairly similar. I've got to the point with this where I'm kind of like, look, it's okay, just whatever's on the board right now is going to work fine. I'll find my sound with it. But the one thing that does happen is that I kind of find, like, coming from a modelling world where just at the switch of one button it changes your tone completely, that I kind of miss that when I get to a pedal board, because you'll be like in the middle of a song and you're like, right, I need for this section to jump from clean to dirty. But what if your dirty tone is made up of a couple of pedals? What if you've got a couple of pedals on and then delay? It's kind of like you get this whole juggling act and this whole tap dancing act, which is totally what a switcher is there to solve, right? kind of thought to myself, well, if I had, you know, sold 3-4 pedals, I could probably pay for a Gigrig Atom. They're like $1,000-ish, right? First of all, I wanted to try this Quartermaster. So basically all of this is doing is just switching out the drive section completely, so that I've got a clean and dirty switch, which I think is a pretty good starting point. I've tried a Carl Martin Octa switch, that worked, but it kind of did some popping things. And I think that was to do with having, like, in some of the loops you'd have like a drive pedal that was like louder than some of the others, so it kind of got this thing where if you dropped in a loop it would make a click, which wasn't ideal. I've also had a Quartermaster, I think like QM6 or QM8, and then I just found like that was too many. So I'm on this smaller kind of switching thing at the moment, where it's like, well, if I can just have a clean and dirty, would that maybe be enough? We'll find out, I guess. I've got a chance to gig this potentially on Saturday. I've got a function gig, or I've also got a gig on May the 4th at Lyme Regis playing the Shipfest thing. The other things that I've had before, I've had like a cheap Harley Benton switcher, which was actually MIDI programmable, that had 4 loops. So I'm thinking, and leave a comment below if you've used the Atom, or whichever the smallest gig rig kind of programmed one is, and how you find its program. That's kind of, maybe I'm considering maybe going down that route, but actually having something where you can switch just between your clean and your dirty, something that if you're just playing at home maybe isn't as crucial, but in the heat of battle on an actual gig, I find definitely that can make a huge difference, where it's kind of like you're not juggling between tones and you just want a quick seamless switch. This, I think, is a bit of a game changer for that, so this is what this video is about. But let me know your favourite switching systems in the comments, and whether you went down this route or not.
So based on some things that I talked about the other day, I think what I'm deciding is that on the average gig, the kernel ellipse doesn't need to be on the board, so that one's coming off. Would it be useful to have some sort of switcher on the board where I can sort of quickly switch from clean to dirty? With that in mind, would the Quartermaster be a potential solution for that? So I'm trying to think of how I would do this. Then this would send into here. Okay, so this is a start at least, so I'm starting to think about the problem. Like for proof of concept, I guess this would be fine. So send there, out there, and then I need one more lead. I think this could work. So, concept now, guitar in. We either had that or that. Now we get clean with compressor. Then that's just guitar straight in and then into the EQ and delay. And then this is currently not working, so this should be send from there into here. Into here. So it should go, send goes under here into plus, into ODR1, then, yes, I can see what I've done here now. Then the bus, I need to shift this around. So that should be into the out of the bus, in here. So that's, I need a longer cable here. Okay, that's good. And then from here, output the EQ into my delay. Now we can flip-flop from clean to dirty with one switch. So if I'm in the middle of spaffing over, I don't know, Got flexibility. It could be any flavor of drive that I'm switching from. And if I want to get to a rhythm, back to solo. Yeah, I'm really happy with that as a workflow. Sorry, I got that delay on there. If I don't want compressor on, just turn off the Quartermaster altogether. EQ for boost. That works great, I think. Time to tidy it up.